Walking through his front door, Henry called for his mother. Eerie silence is all he got in response, so he slowly and mindfully closed the door, believing her to be napping. Still, an uneasy feeling boiled in his stomach, especially with the outbreak of the disease known as Clownitis spreading wildly in an unpredictable pattern. The disease turned ordinary people into twisted iterations of clowns. If contracted, the disease would enact an overproduction of melanin, causing large, unnatural brown or black shapes to form on the face resembling clown makeup. People with darker complexions would instead suffer from a vitiligo-like whitening of their skin, turning their complexion a stark white with patches of their original skin tone resembling clown makeup. Their eyes held malice, and their teeth would somehow double in length and width, stretching the lips into twitchy, involuntary smiles. They would laugh in an over-the-top, animated clown laugh, and did so sporadically. In addition to the outer changes were the changes within. The ghastly grinners regressed into a feral state, unlocking a primal predator instinct that enhanced their speed and stamina. The horrific jokers were great hunters, preying on animals and humans alike. While feasting on the flesh of their victims, they would ask, no one in particular, "Does this meat taste funny to you?" Unsettling as all that may sound, it only gets worse. Should the victim somehow survive the ordeal, then in a day's time, they too would become infected and change into a grotesque clown. Knowing all this, the 9-year-old cautiously moved deeper into the house, trying to be as quiet as he could. Rounding the kitchen corner, his mind started to run wild with thoughts of his mother transformed and waiting for him with a knife. To his relief, he was in the clear, but he did notice light brown hairs scattered around the kitchen floor and countertop. Sprinkles of crusted blood trailed from the counter across the floor and leading into the dining area. His pulse quickened and he unknowingly held his breath. As he inched his way to the dining room, he told himself internally to turn and run away, yet he still moved forward. Reaching the doorway, he gently gripped the wood and slowly he took a peek inside. His mother was sitting at the table with her back to him, enjoying a meal. "Hi, son," she said. Aside from her hair looking greasy, she seemed normal. Nothing else was out of place. Henry replied with hi, and he felt the tension leave his body in slow, pulsating waves. Feeling confident that his mother was normal, he asked her why there was hair in the kitchen and what the red drips were. To which she simply replied, "Does this meat taste funny to you?" The boy's fear returned instantly and arose with the heat like a wildfire. His mother turned to face him. Henry's adrenaline made her movement seem slow, revealing her clown's formation. The boy's legs gave out at the sight. He couldn't believe it. His mother had been clowns formed into a card-carrying member of the insane clown posse. Her lips stretched thin over her newly enlarged, blood-stained teeth. So thin that her skin had split open in random spots to allow her to create the widest smile he'd ever witnessed. Looking at the table, he saw the scraps of his guinea pig. Looking back at his mother, he saw one of the guinea pig's arms twitching in between two of her box-like teeth. The boy's primal instincts for survival propelled him to his feet, and he made a mad dash for the front door, exiting the dining area the same way he came. His mother started laughing, wildly and loud. Henry reached the door and unlocked it. As he turned the knob, he heard the chair his mother sat upon smack hard on the tile floor. The boy turned to look and saw his mother exit the dining room rapidly through the other door, then jump over the back of the couch in the front room, followed by a mid-air front flip that cleared the front of the couch. She landed a perfect dismount on top of the coffee table in the front room, breaking through it with bare feet. The broken and splintered wood digging, jabbing, and embedding itself into the bottoms of her feet, in between her toes and under her toenails. The tears of a clown flooded her eyes with the pain she felt, showing the boy that the infected were not completely mindless, although he didn't understand the significance. Her upper and lower mandibles spread open wide and expelled more loud laughter. Then, while using over-exaggerated steps, she began to mime her way out of an invisible knee-high barrier. Henry swung the door open and ran outside, his mother giving chase. She was only 2 steps behind him when the boy made a sharp right toward the driveway. Her body continued moving forward, although she turned her head to face him. She pivoted her body and quickly changed direction, running again toward the boy. Henry had crossed the driveway, and his mother was 3 steps in to her new direction when the boy's stepfather drove up unexpectedly, hitting the 5'2" woman at a speed of 7 miles per hour. The impact bounced the woman off the front of the vehicle, her body making a horn sound when the two collided. She flew up in the sky and crashed onto the trash bins in front of the house, knocking them over and spilling the smelly contents inside. Quickly hopping out of his car, Henry's stepdad popped open the trunk and opened a pack of zip ties he had just purchased. The 6-foot bearded man used them to restrain the unconscious mother to the trash bin handles, then called 911 to report the emergency. The two sat on the sidewalk, waiting for the police and ambulance when Henry started sobbing uncontrollably. His stepfather tried to console him the best he could, saying that all would be fine and that she would be cured in no time. He said this, but he said it not knowing if it was at all possible. Henry's story is only one of many stories telling the chaos and carnage of carnival freaks, a world increasing in madness and filling with deranged clowns daily. The uninfected continued to fight for their lives, just trying to survive each day in a world that's become a psycho circus.